To another of this hour's headline stories. In Syria, government troops continue to make headway against Islamic State terrorists in the desert city of Palmyra. Units have closed in on the ancient district where many of its main landmarks are located. Take a look at this image. It was posted online by a correspondent from news channel Russia 24, with the city's protected sites visible just a few kilometers away. A team from RT's Arabic channel has also been on the Syrian army's trail there. The following are the latest pictures that they sent to us.
The Syrian army, together with its allies, is engaged in fierce fighting on the outskirts of Palmyra. They are using new desert war tactics. The army has made huge gains and captured the strategic hills near the city. This will help them take the whole of Palmyra back under control.
النقاط الأمامية واقتحامها ودحر الأعداء خلال ساعات قليلة. بعد ذلك نجحنا التسلل إلى العمق وسيطرنا على التلال المشرفة على تدمر ومنهدي هذا النصر إلى أمنا سوريا.
Old Palmyra, known as the Venice of the Suns, is a UNESCO heritage site with some of the world's most precious ancient monuments. However, many of those sites were destroyed last year after the city was captured by Islamic State, who view it as pagan and sacrilegious. The advancing Syrian commanders have promised to halt from using heavy artillery to prevent any further damage to what remains. RT spoke to a journalist on the front line.
We are already inside the city. There is ongoing fighting on the streets and inside buildings. We can clearly see the city's ancient ruins from here. Islamic State forces are putting up fierce resistance, but are apparently unable to mount a serious counteroffensive. The Syrian military has the initiative and is pushing on to liberate the city completely. Some of the ISIL forces have already fled in columns of vehicles. There's approximately a couple hundred militants still left inside the city. Palmyra is a strategic location. From here on, it is mostly just a flat desert, all the way to Islamic State's self-proclaimed capital of Raqqa. After taking Palmyra, the Syrian military will be poised to strike at the very heart of terrorist territory.
The ongoing advance in Palmyra has been warmly welcomed by the head of UNESCO, who called it, quote, a martyr city. The gains being made by Damascus are, however, a concern for the US, who are also battling ISIL. Our Washington correspondent, Gayane Chichikan, went to the State Department to find out why.
I'm not going to laud it because it's important to remember that one of the reasons Daesh is in Syria is because Assad's brutal crackdown on his own people created the kind of vacuum, if you will, that has allowed a group like ISIL or Daesh to flourish.
The U.S. State Department is not sure if the Syrian army kicking Daesh out of the ancient city of Palmyra is good news. State Department's Mark Toner said trading Daesh for Assad is not a great choice for Syrians. So journalists asked him if the U.S. would prefer that Daesh continue to control Palmyra.
Are you hoping that they push Daesh out of the city?
We, of course, our priority, and I said this yesterday, is defeating and destroying Daesh. That remains our priority. And yet, we also recognize that replacing Daesh's barbaric rule with Assad's tyranny is not a great trade-off or a great solution.
Earlier, when pressed on that question, the spokesman conceded that, quote, we think Daesh is probably a greater evil in this case. What's also interesting, when first asked about the reports of the Syrian army making advances against Daesh in Palmyra on Wednesday, Mark Toner spoke about alleged violations of the cessation of hostilities agreement by Assad's forces. He was immediately asked if he meant that fighting Daesh in Palmyra qualified as such a violation, and he said no, that was not what he meant. But had he not been asked persistent follow-up questions, he could have created the impression that the Syrian army was doing something wrong by trying to retake Palmyra from the terrorist group.
War correspondent Eric Margolis says the State Department's reaction to the situation in Palmyra shows that Washington is confused about...
I want to talk about double standards.
Double standard that there is in Washington.
Russia is responsible for fueling this war.
Assad's war against his own people helped to fuel the rise of ISIL.
By standing up for our values around the world, that is the way that we will keep our own people safe.
How do you get away with such blatant double standards?
We occasionally have to twist the arms of countries that wouldn't do what we need them to do.
There you have it. Simple.